The new compound was beautiful. Clean streets. Working lights. Security guards who smiled. Mr. Benson stood in front of their 3-bedroom home, chest swelling with pride. After 10 years of struggle, his contract had come through. Good money. Respect. We've made it, he told his wife, Mrs. Benson. Their children, 12-year-old Tola and 8-year-old Kemi, ran through the rooms laughing. Mrs. Benson smiled, but exhaustion pulled at her. We need a house help. Someone to cook, clean, watch the children. Their neighbor overheard. I know someone perfect. Very quiet. Hardworking. The next day, Mary arrived. Young, maybe late 20s, with a soft voice and calm eyes. She carried only a small bag. Thank you for this opportunity, Ma, Mary said, bowing. I will serve you well. Mrs. Benson felt relief flood through her. Help had finally come. She didn't notice the family dog, Bingo, pressing against the wall, whimpering. Or how Mary's shadow seemed too long for the afternoon sun. The first week felt like magic. The house gleamed. Clothes washed perfectly. Food tasted better and lasted longer than it should. She's incredible, Mrs. Benson told her husband. But small things felt wrong. Bingo refused to enter the kitchen. He would stand at the doorway, whining, tail tucked. The salt kept turning into hard lumps. Fresh salt poured in the morning would be solid by evening. Mary never stood in direct sunlight. She moved through shadows, always choosing the darkest corners. Mrs. Benson noticed Mary never ate their food. Mary, please join us for lunch. Thank you, Ma, but I already ate. But Mrs. Benson had been home all morning. She'd never seen Mary eat anything. Mary only drank water from her own covered clay cup. Never from the family's glasses. One evening, Mrs. Benson walked into a room Mary had just cleaned. The air was ice cold. In the middle of summer. Mary began spending more time with the children. She asked gentle questions. Tola, what day were you born? What time exactly? Kemi, what is your full name? Your father's name? Your grandfather's? Tell me your fears. What scares you at night? The children answered happily. Mary was kind. Mrs. Benson thought it was sweet. But one afternoon, Tola came to her mother worried. Mama, I saw Mary doing something strange. She was picking my nail clippings from the floor. She put them in a cloth bag and whispered over them. Mrs. Benson laughed nervously. She's just cleaning. But she didn't throw them away. And she spoke in a strange language. That night, Mrs. Benson watched carefully. She saw Mary collecting a strand of Kemi's hair. Folding it carefully. Tucking it into a small leather pouch under her dress. Mrs. Benson's heart beat faster. But she said nothing. Maybe there was an explanation. Friday evening, Mary called the children to the kitchen. I have something special for you. She pulled out small packages. Brown paper, tied with red thread in strange patterns. These are special biscuits. For smart children. Tola and Kemi's eyes lit up. My last madam's children ate these every night. They became top of their class. They're studying abroad now. Really? Tola asked. Yes. But there are rules. You must eat one biscuit every night before sleep. While you eat, say your full name 3 times quietly. So no one hears. Why quietly? Kemi asked. Because it's a secret. If you tell anyone, the magic stops. You'll fail your exams. The children nodded. One more thing. After you eat and say your name, stand at your window for 1 minute. Facing outside. Don't turn around. That's all? Simple discipline. It trains focus. The children took the biscuits eagerly. Mrs. Benson had been listening. The instructions sounded harmless. Discipline. Focus. Success. What could be wrong? The change was immediate. Tola came home with a perfect score on her math test. She'd never scored that high before. Mama. 100%. Mrs. Benson hugged her, crying with joy. Kemi started remembering everything. Teacher's instructions. Homework. Conversations from weeks ago. How do you remember all this? Her father asked. I don't know, Papa. My brain feels clear. Both children became calmer. Focused. They stopped fighting. Did homework without being asked. Mary is a gift from God, Mrs. Benson told her husband. Everything has improved. They increased Mary's salary. Bought her new clothes. Mary smiled and thanked them. But at night, when everyone slept, Mary stood outside the children's bedroom. Listening. Waiting. Making sure they followed the routine. They did. Every night. Eat the biscuit. Say their names. Stand at the window. They didn't know that while they stood there, backs turned, something else entered their room. Something that marked them. Night by night. They were becoming hers. Mr. Benson's nephew, Femi, came to visit for the weekend. 10 years old. Energetic and forgetful. Femi will sleep in Tola's room, Mrs. Benson said. That evening, Mary gave Femi a biscuit. For you, so you'll be smart like your cousins. Femi put it in his school bag. But the next morning, his mother called. Femi, you forgot your bag at home. Femi's face went pale. The biscuit was in that bag. When bedtime came, he panicked. I don't have the biscuit. Tola stared at him, fear in her eyes. You have to eat it. I don't have it. Then you broke the rule. Tola's voice trembled. The next morning, Mary's face was different. Her calm mask cracked. Her eyes went dark. You didn't follow the routine, she said quietly. I forgot. Rules must be followed. No excuses. Her voice was no longer kind. It was a command. Femi had become a problem. And problems needed to be eliminated. That night, Mrs. Benson woke to footsteps. Soft. Multiple. Moving in perfect rhythm. She opened her door and froze. Tola and Kemi walked down the hallway. Together. Perfectly synchronized. Their eyes were open but unseeing. Sleepwalking. And humming. A melody she'd never heard. Low. Haunting. Ancient. Tola? Kemi? No response. They kept walking, humming. At the kitchen sink, they turned on the tap together. Water ran over their hands. They rubbed slowly, methodically. But their hands were already clean. After exactly 1 minute, they turned off the tap in unison. Turned. Walked back to their room. Still humming. Still synchronized. Mrs. Benson stood frozen. When she finally moved, she looked down. Wet footprints led from the children's room to the kitchen. Small footprints. Tola's size. Kemi's size. But there was a third set. Adult-sized. Barefoot. They led from the children's room, then simply stopped. In the middle of the hallway. Like someone had been walking with them. Then vanished. The next morning, Femi woke up screaming. His body jerked violently. Eyes rolled back. Foam at his mouth. Femi! Mr. Benson grabbed him. Femi's body went rigid. Then limp. They rushed him to the hospital. Doctors ran every test. We can't find anything physically wrong, the doctor said, confused. But he's not responding. It's like he's trapped inside himself. Femi lay in bed. Eyes open. Staring at nothing. Couldn't speak. Couldn't move. His mother arrived, crying. What happened to my son? Mrs. Benson had no answers. But Mary did. When they returned home, Mary approached quietly. I know what's wrong. Spiritual attack. It happens when children visit new places. But there's a remedy. Herbs. A special bath. Mrs. Benson almost said yes. But something made her hesitate. The way Mary's eyes gleamed when she said spiritual attack. Like she knew exactly what had happened. No, Mrs. Benson said. We'll wait for the doctors. Mary's smile tightened. As you wish, Ma. That night, Mrs. Benson heard Mary whispering in the kitchen. And she heard Femi's name. The next morning, Mrs. Benson went to the estate chairman, Mr. Olladale. Large man. Authority. Respected. Sir, something strange is happening in my house. She told him everything. Sleepwalking. Humming. Footprints. Femi's coma. Mr. Olladale's expression hardened. Mrs. Benson, let me stop you. This is a respectable estate. We cannot have people spreading spiritual rumors. I'm not spreading rumors. You're stressed. Moving is difficult. It's normal to feel overwhelmed. Sir, I know what I saw. His voice became cold. If you continue with this talk, you'll damage the estate's reputation. Property values will drop. Is that what you want? No, but. Then stop this nonsense. Talk to your pastor. Pray. But do not spread these stories. If other tenants hear this, there will be consequences. Mrs. Benson felt her face burn. So I should ignore what's happening? Be responsible. This is a community. She left, tears stinging. No one would help. No one would listen. She was alone. Within 2 weeks, other children in the compound began changing. Mrs. Benson noticed at the playground. 6 children sitting together. Not playing. Just sitting. Eerily calm. Staring in the same direction. All humming that same melody. When did they become so close? She asked another mother. Oh, Mary organized a playdate last week. She's so good with children. My daughter has been doing better since then. Mrs. Benson's blood ran cold. Mary? My house help? Yes. She brought snacks. They played games. My daughter talks about her constantly. That night, Mrs. Benson couldn't sleep. At midnight, she looked out her window. 7 children. Walking out of their homes in pajamas. Moving in perfect synchronization. Walking toward the abandoned storage building. Mrs. Benson wanted to follow. But fear paralyzed her. The next morning, she asked Tola, "Where do you go at night?" Tola's face went blank. "Nowhere, Mama. Tell me the truth." But Tola's eyes looked empty. "What is Mary making you do?" "Nothing. Mary helps us." The words sounded programmed. "Tell me what happens." Tears filled Tola's eyes. "I can't. If I tell, I'll fail. I'll be nothing." Tola physically could not say Mary's name. Mrs. Benson's neighbor, Mom Ngozi, knocked that evening. "I need to talk to you. I've been watching." They sat in the living room. "In my village, 40 years ago, a woman came offering help. The children started changing. Then they started disappearing. Not physically. Their spirits. Their souls. They became empty shells." What was she? A collector. Gathering children for a sacrifice. A gate that needed opening. How did you stop her? An old priest tested her with blessed water. When it touched her, she screamed. Her true form revealed. I can't throw holy water on my house help. Mom Ngozi leaned forward. You need proof. And observation. The next day, Mom Ngozi visited, wearing a small pouch. Protection charms inside. When Mary entered to serve tea, her eyes flicked to the pouch. Her calm face twitched. She excused herself quickly. After Mary left, Mom Ngozi whispered urgently. She can't stay near me. The charms repel her. Whatever is living in your house is not human. Mrs. Benson waited until Mary went to the market. Then she searched. Under Mary's mattress, she found a leather pouch. Inside were strands of hair. Different colors. Different textures. Tolas. Chemis. Others she didn't recognize. Baby teeth. 5 of them. Wrapped in red thread. Fingernail clippings in a separate bag. And photographs. Family photos. Her own from moving day. The children's eyes were scratched out completely. Black marks. Only their mouths remained. Open mouths. Screaming. Mrs. Benson dropped the pouch and ran to the bathroom, vomiting. She forced herself back. Picked up a biscuit wrapper. With trembling fingers, she unwrapped it. Inside wasn't a biscuit. It was something dark. Dried. Shriveled. It looked like dried human flesh. Mrs. Benson screamed. When she turned, Mary was standing in the doorway. Smiling. You shouldn't have looked, Ma. Her voice was still soft. But her eyes had changed. Completely black. Like looking into bottomless holes. What are you? Mrs. Benson whispered. Mary's smile widened. I'm exactly what you hired. The estate announced a special event. End-of-year children's party. All families invited. Every parent was excited. Mary volunteered to help. I can prepare special treats for the children. I love working with children. The mothers agreed enthusiastically. But Mom Ngozi pulled Mrs. Benson aside. That party is the deadline. What do you mean? I consulted a Babalawo. Demons like this work in specific numbers. 12. It's a spiritual law. 12 children fully marked opens a gate. A gate to where? To bring others through. Once 12 are claimed, the barrier breaks. What comes through will consume the entire compound. Mrs. Benson counted. Tola. Chemi. 6 from the playground. 2 from the committee. 10. She needs 2 more, Mrs. Benson breathed. At the party, with all children gathered, she'll easily get 12. She'll mark them all at once. What can we do? Warn parents. Stop the party. Perform deliverance before the gate opens. The chairman won't listen. Then we go around him. We gather parents who will listen. That night, Mom Ngozi gathered 4 mothers. They shared observations. All their children had received treats from Mary. All had changed. All hummed the same song. We need to act now, Mom Ngozi said. Or we lose them forever. They went to other parents. Most refused to listen. You're jealous because your children aren't performing well, one mother said. Mary is a blessing. You're trying to ruin her, another snapped. This is slander, a father threatened. Only 5 families believed them. It's not enough, Mrs. Benson said. Then we save who we can, Mom Ngozi said firmly. That night, the 5 families gathered secretly. They brought their children together. We're going to pray for you, Mom Ngozi explained. It might be uncomfortable. But it's to help you. The affected children panicked. No. We don't need prayer. We're fine. Their voices sounded wrong. Too deep. Synchronized. Parents laid hands on their children. They prayed. Commanded. Renounced. Whatever has been placed on these children, we reject it. Whatever covenant was made, we break it. The children screamed. Convulsed. then began to vomit. Brown pieces. Shriveled. Rotting. The biscuits. Not food. Flesh. Some vomited hair. Others vomited small bones. Mrs. Benson held Tola as her daughter expelled everything evil. When it stopped, the children collapsed. Exhausted but clear-eyed. "Mama?" Tola whispered. "What happened?" Mrs. Benson sobbed. "You're free now." But 13 other children were still marked. And the party was in 2 days. The next morning, the chairman summoned Mrs. Benson. "I've received complaints. Harassment. Creating panic. I'm giving you a choice. Fire your house help quietly, or leave this estate. You can't force us. Check your tenancy agreement. There's a clause about community peace. You're violating it." Mrs. Benson took a breath. "Fine. I'll fire her." She went home and called Mary. "Mary, we can't keep you anymore. We'll pay you for the month. But please leave." Mary smiled. "I understand, Ma. No problem. Too easy." Mary packed within minutes. "Thank you for everything." As she walked to the gate, she turned. "Oh, I left farewell gifts for the children. On their beds." Mrs. Benson's blood turned to ice. She ran to the children's rooms. On each bed was a wrapped package. Tola reached for hers. "Don't touch it." But Kemi had already opened hers. A bracelet. Beautiful. Red and black thread. She slipped it on. Immediately, her eyes glazed. "Kemi." No response. She began humming. That same melody. Mary was gone. But the gifts she left were still connected. Still controlling. Even from a distance. That afternoon, Mr. Benson's lawyer called. "Sir, there's something strange about your land documents. The estate was built on disputed land. There was a major court case 20 years ago. Sacred land. A shrine." "What happened?" "Settled out of court. The developer paid compensation. But there's a clause. Written in Old Yoruba. It says, 'The first blood of the 7th generation shall return to seal the mouth.'" Mr. Benson's hands went numb. "Your family name is on the list. Your grandfather was one of the claimants. He accepted money for the land. The pieces fell into place. 7th generation. Mr. Benson's grandfather was 5th. His father was 6th. He was 7th. His children were 8th. The covenant specifies that if the 7th generation's offspring live on the land, the deed activates. His promotion. His contract. The blessing that let them afford this house. It wasn't luck. It was bait. To bring his children here. To this land. To fulfill an ancient debt. Mom Ngozi brought an old Babalawo that night. Ancient. Eyes cloudy but sharp. He walked through the compound, touching walls, listening. This earth is hungry. It has been waiting. Waiting for what? For children whose names were written before they were born. Your husband's bloodline made an exchange. Land for prosperity. The land gave wealth. Now it demands payment. What payment? Blood. Spirit. Future. The covenant says the 7th generation's firstborn must open the sealed mouth. Once opened, all children on this land become property of what dwells beneath. Your house help is not random. She's a collector. Sent specifically because moving here activated your grandfather's contract. How do we break it? Renounce the covenant publicly. Your husband must reject what his grandfather accepted. Return the blessing. Return it how? Give up this house. This land. Walk away from prosperity bought with your children's blood. Mrs. Benson felt her world crumbling. If we don't, the collector will return. As a judge, she'll take your children. And when she has 12, she'll open the gate. Everything beneath will rise. The choice was brutal. Success or children. The next evening, all parents were summoned. Mom Ngozi stood with the Babalawo. Your children are in danger. The woman you thought was a house girl is a demon collector. Parents shouted. Protested. Until Mom Ngozi showed the evidence. The pouch. Hair. Teeth. Mutilated photographs. Until the Babalawo explained the covenant. Until the freed children testified. She made us eat things. We went underground at night. They said when 12 of us were ready, the door would open. Resistance crumbled. Parents grabbed their children. Did you take anything from Mary? One by one, children confessed. Parents began to pray. Command. Renounce. Children screamed. Convulsed. Vomited. 13 children total. All freed. The chairman tried to stop it. This is hysteria. But the Babalawo pointed. You knew. Your family brokered the land deal. You were paid to keep families quiet. Documents were produced. Bank transfers. 30 years of silence. At midnight, Mary appeared at the gate. But couldn't enter. Parents stood united. Praying. Protecting. Mary's form flickered. Her disguise fell away. What stood there was ancient. Too many limbs. Eyes like empty sockets. A mouth impossibly wide. You owe the land, it hissed. We renounce the debt. Mr. Benson shouted. We choose our children. The creature screamed. Then collapsed. Sinking into the ground. Gone. The Bensons moved out the next week. Smaller house. Starting over. Other families followed. The chairman was arrested. The estate condemned. When you welcome a stranger into your home, you're not only hiring hands, you may be opening a door. Talk to your children daily, watch what they're given in secret, and never let shame silence you when something feels wrong. Thank you so much for watching and please don't forget to subscribe. Where are you watching from?